Hello, YouTube! AshtonAkai here, and we are back with TBU Season 3, Week 1, where we are going to be facing Deneki and the St. Louis Sableyes. Now, before I get into it, if you haven't had a look at my team analysis yet, it went up yesterday. Make sure you give it a look. Basically, it's just it explains my sets in more detail. In addition, what I was expecting from him and how I plan to approach the game. So, looking at his team, the first, some of the stuff he brought, I expected. Some of the stuff, not so much. Obviously the Spiritomb was coming, the Mega Audino, the Greninja, but two Mons which I was really expecting to see were Regirock and Thunderous Eye. So he has a fairy weakness, and I figured he would be really afraid of DD Mega Altaria, which is what I brought. So much so that he'd probably want the insurance that Prankster Thunderwave kind of gives him. From stopping Altaria just tearing through his team. In addition, the only Mon which he's brought which actually takes a hit, I think, at all from Altaria at +1 is the Mega Audino. So again, I was thinking, Regirock, pretty bulky, can take a hit from Altaria, could counter me, could, hit me hard with, Stab Rock, could T-Wave me as well, could do a few things, and neither of those Mons showed up. So, my first thought was actually, I really like the Mons he's brought. This game is actually going to be a bit more straightforward than I thought. But then my second thought was, well, he knows that he has that weakness as well as I do, which means that probably he's got some shenanigans up his sleeve. And then the question which instantly put me on my guard. It was I went from thinking, this game could be more straightforward to, what am I going to have to watch out for? So, without any further intro, let's jump right in and see how this one went, shall we? Right, so looking at the team that he's brought, I can basically just go forward with what was my intended plan and lead off with Fortress and start throwing hazards at him. Now, he's going to lead off with his Greninja, and for a second there, I didn't know exactly what to do because this could very well have been Taunt Greninja. In the end, I decided just to stay in and go for my rocks anyway. He doesn't burn me with the Scald, which is fortunate. He's also not Taunt, of course, so I get up my rocks, which is going to be huge with all of his Mons which don't enjoy Stealth Rocks. Now, on the following turn, I decided to just stay in and get up, use the Custap Berry to get up a layer of Toxic Spikes, but Dan, probably predicting the explosion, is going to pull a switch out into his Spiritomb, making sure, of course, that he doesn't lose his Greninja very early on. Now, I do have Explosion, but that was never the plan, and basically, the plan is going to work out perfectly because now, due to the fact that I have speed on Fortress, I can outspeed this guy and I can go for another layer of Toxic Spikes as he's going to knock me out with a Shadow Ball. So it's 6-5 him, but Fortress has done his job admirably. Not only has he gotten up rocks to break all those sashes and deal good damage to all of Dan's rock weaknesses, but I have 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up, which means Mega Audino is going to be toxic upon entry, and that is glorious. So I'm going to send in Mega Altaria here. And I'm just going to Mega up and DD in his face because I have Heal Bell and Roost. I fear nothing from this thing. I have the safest DD in the world, and getting to +1 puts me in a really glorious place for the rest of the match. I was expecting a Will-O-Wisp here and to have to kind of play the DD Heal Bell Roost game, but he actually goes for Destiny Bond, and this is perfect because now I know he has Destiny Bond, and I don't have to attack him. I can basically just sit here and play the whatever game he wants to play and continue to DD up until I get to a point where I can sweep his team. So I'm going to Dragon Dance again, get right up to +2 as he's going to go for Will-O-Wisp and he is going to miss, and this is really unfortunate for him because now I don't have to Heal Bell it off and to play games. I can just go straight for the return on the following turn and knock out his Spiritomb. Now Larry the Mega Audino is going to come in here and is going to take rocks damage and is going to get Toxic. Now this is the one thing which can take a hit from a +2 Mega Altaria because I'm jolly. I calced it. If he's defensive, it does around 75% max, depending upon just how much defense he has. Yeah, but I'm going to crit him, and he's going to drop. I found out later that he was actually offensive Audino, and it was a roll, so the crit just kind of meant that the roll didn't, stop mattering. And now with the Audino gone, basically, Altaria is just going to clean up his team. He has nothing, there's nothing that which he can do about it at this point. And yeah, this is game over. He literally cannot stop this from happening, and we are going to run away with what is going to be a very strong round 1 TBU victory. So yeah, Greninja's going to come in, but I'm +2. So because we know that he's not scarfed, I get myself a very, I'm going to be able to outspeed it and knock it out with a return. And then his final Mon is his Hellllllloooo. And honestly, this one pains me the most of all of the knockouts because of the wonderful work that Hellllllloooo did for me last season. But it's Altaria decides to show itself, to play a little game of anything you can do, I can do better with last season's hero, and we walk away with a nice and solid 5-0 victory over Dan and the St. Louis Sableyes. So that could not have gone any better. Even I don't think I could have imagined that any better. I had so many different kind of scenarios in my head, games which he could have tried to play with Thundurus had he brought it. But then the team he brought, like I said, it just kind of I don't want to say that he would I don't know what his thoughts were, because obviously, and what his plan was, because obviously Altaria kind of wrecked shop before I could find out. But I don't. It'll be interesting to see his team analysis to see exactly what his kind of approach to the game was going to be, because he didn't get a chance to kind of he didn't really ever get an opportunity to show it off. So I mean, the Will-O-Wisp miss was unfortunate, but like I said, I had Heal Bell on Mega Altaria, so it didn't really matter in the long run. And then the crit on Audino, after rocks, it had about a 40%, I think it was a 37.5% chance to Oko, because he showed me the calc after the game. But that didn't actually factor in toxic damage. So the only difference that him surviving that turn makes is he gets off a Dazzling Gleam. That's literally the only thing that he could have really done there. And it does max. I calculated around 70% or 70. I think it was 78% max, something like that. So I live the hit. The only reason that becomes a problem is if I can't take Dazzling Gleam plus Sucker Punch from the Honchkrow. But as the way it worked out, it was a roll anyway, so I very well could have gotten the high roll, and the crit may not have mattered. We'll never know. So yeah, I'm GG to Dan. I know this isn't how he would have wanted his first season in TBU to start, but he definitely has shown he's got the ability, and he's got a pretty solid team backing him. So I have no doubt that he'll bounce back from this, and it will be interesting to see how he does for the remainder of the season. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below if you did. Let me know if you enjoyed that wonderful flying start which we made to the season, and if you are looking forward to seeing how the Bidoofs can do this season as much as I am. So with that, I hope you all have had the most excellent of days, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.